Hi, welcome to Smosh Mouth. I'm Shayne.
I'm Amanda, and we have a very, very, very special guest with us today. It is Olivia.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Olivia.
It's been a minute.
Shayne.
It's been a minute since you've been
been
on.
a minute.
And you didn't put, like, his last time, your makeup, you really went all out.
Yeah.
I know. I had contour all over my face.
Yeah.
And now it's all blended, baby.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
It's the same makeup from last time. You've kept it on.
She hasn't washed her face.
You let it naturally blend.
Shayne, I know you're a guy, but I don't think you understand how makeup works.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, we know that because there's the lost episode from Smosh that never aired where I did your makeup.
Wait,
Do you remember that?
no.
I've heard
Do
about
you remember this? There was
Okay.
forever ago where I actually legitimately attempted to do your makeup. And I felt really bad because I did a really bad job. And I realized how hard it is. Like when I was trying to apply stuff and I was like, oh, this does not apply how I
it's
thought
hard.
it would apply.
I will say, I think it's very hard to do someone else's makeup. When you're doing your
Yes.
own, it's easier to apply it. Doing someone else's is like, you know, when you do your makeup and people are like, oh my God, can you do mine? You're like, yeah, of
You look
course.
completely different than me.
And then you do it and you're like I try to do my mom's makeup and I'm like, oh God, Mom.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I'll try to do your makeup.
Okay. People have done my makeup and they do a great job, but
I would love to see that video.
It's gone.
What do you mean it's gone?
It truly disappeared. It was like lost in the Defy shutdown.
What do we have to do to find it?
We can't. It's gone.
I think I have pictures of it on my phone.
Really.
Yeah.
do? Can we bring it up?
It was really bad. I actually was like embarrassed by.
No,
the
but I
job
think,
that
the
did.
memory of it will stay forever in my head.
Olivia, how are you doing today?
I am like for real asking me how I'm doing?
Yeah.
No, as a joke.
Well,
No, for real. How are you
as a
doing?
joke, I'm doing great. But for real, no, I'm kidding.
No, for real.
For real. Well, I feel a little bit rushed because I rush myself because I don't give myself enough time to do things. So that is why when I sat down, I was like, oh God, I need like something in my body because my stomach will be making all sorts of crazy sounds. Mm-hmm. And how
Why
am
don't
I
you give
doing?
yourself enough time?
You know what, Amanda? I don't
Pissed
fucking
here?
know.
Whoa.
I kind of agree with you though. Sometimes when you have more time, you like push it to the end and then you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I have to get in the car.
No, I literally was like, Alexcina, I'm so sorry. Give me 30 seconds. I have to pee.
I'm so sorry.
I almost peed with the door open, but then I realized we're at work and that would like not be okay.
That would be so funny.
I was about to like take off my pants as I was like running through our main lobby.
Can I tell you that it's actually crazy you say that. That is like a irrational fear of mine that I'll like forget that I'm like at work. I shut the door behind me at home too.
You
when I
do?
use the bathroom.
I never.
No.
But
I don't
I just
care.
have this fear of like, what if I forget? And then it's like horrible, But no, I make sure every time I enter the bathroom, I like
You close the door?
Close the door at home. I knew
totally
that.
close the
That
door at
is-
home.
I don't.
I keep it wide
I
open.
keep it wide open like my legs. I mean, like when I'm
No,
peeing.
no,
Like, no.
no.
I keep it wide open like when I'm peeing. You know,
boy.
like, no, that's not what I meant.
Uh-huh.
No, that's not what I meant.
We got
I
to
could
a
mean
place.
that, but it's not what I meant.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Wow.
You're not the weird one here.
Yeah, you
Shayne
close
is.
your.
I'm the weird one for
Do
closing
you lock
my door.
it? Do you lock it when you're home?
I don't know if I always lock it.
So you do.
Whoa!
So maybe so.
What's
I don't
gonna
think I lock
happen?
it. I don't think I lock it. I don't know.
Whoa!
Look, I did that.
are weird.
I will do that if I am home alone. I will still shut the door just because I like to be enclosed.
Are you worried someone's gonna come in
It's
and
I'm
take
not
over and
worried.
go, you peeing?
I'm not
Brother?"
worried about anything. I just like to be in a little tiny room there and be like, okay, like I'm here.
Wow.
That's what's going on.
I don't like to be in a tiny
Also,
little room.
especially if I'm sitting down, my cats will come into the bathroom and they'll be like, "Can I sit on your lap?" And I'm like, "Absolutely."
Aw,
not
that's so
right
cute.
You don't like
of
that?
course.
No, I
You
don't.
don't want your cats to see.
I just don't want them. No, I don't want them to be around in there.
Why?
I don't know.
We learned
Shayne?
so
Like,
much
just,
about
just
Shayne.
leave me alone. But they hate it because if I shut the door, I will be sitting there, and then all of a sudden a paw will just come from underneath
Oh,
the door.
cute!
And they're
M.
like,
Night
let me in. It's truly
Signs.
like signs. No, cats are little demons.
I don't have one.
It's cute how you live your life.
Anyways, we have Olivia here, And Olivia, there's something going on in your life that is kind of new. You
Jesus.
are in the middle of no, not that.
The way you.
No, not that.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
what? What's going
You
on in my
are
life?
the middle of
Aw.
making
Yeah.
a film.
Short film.
A short film.
Making a short film.
Yeah.
You're making a short film.
Yes.
And how long have you been working on this?
I've been working on it for over a year. We're in
Whoa.
post-production. We're in like the last, like I would say, I can't put it as percentage because this last bit is so important to the entire thing. But, you know, we're almost done. We're picture locked. There's just like a few other things that we need to make it all finished. When is it ever going to be finished? I don't know. Yesterday I was like, something unexpected happened yesterday. You know when you asked me how I'm doing today? Well, a little bit stressed because of the residual stuff from yesterday. So my short film is picture locked. So everything in the edit is like done, you know? But we still have to do the sound mix and music and coloring. But everything else is like, you know, the picture is locked.
That's nice.
Yeah, the
at
edits are
least.
done.
Yeah.
When are you hoping, when is your desire for it to be done fully?
Good question. Hopefully in today, what? It's October right now.
Hopefully today.
Hopefully, the end of EOD today. No, I'm just kidding. As soon as possible, but a lot of things can't be rushed, you know?
Yeah.
I don't ever want to rush something as important as music.
Totally.
And coloring too. It's like, oh gosh, I have to give notes right after this.
How do you feel about giving notes on your short film?
There's some, like, for example, when I was doing the color session, there's a lot of professional verbiage that I'm learning as I'm doing it. And there's certain things like, this looks a little too yellow, or this is giving like a purple hue. Like, I don't know the actual words to describe things. However, I surround myself with really supportive, helpful, knowledgeable people who will be like, oh, this is what she means, you know? So I'm very fortunate that I have that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So for people listening and watching, I guess we should explain, like, what's the name of this movie and what's it about?
So the short is called Wei Baba, which translates to hi dad. Wei is how you say hi to someone on the phone in Mandarin, and only specifically on the phone when you answer.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
so my dad and me, our relationship is, you know, on the phone all the time because he lives in China, and he just calls me every single day, nonstop, if I don't answer.
Every day?
Every day. My dad calls me every single day. And
I don't think I knew this.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Like, I know we're not very close, but my dad checks in on me never fails to check in on me. And if I don't answer, he will call over and over again and until I answer.
Oh my God.
Why?
Yeah, I've gotten like 20, 30 missed calls from him before.
Holy
'Cause he's
crap.
worried?
Yeah, I think he's worried, and I think it's like him wanting to know what if I'm okay. Yeah, maybe because he's worried.
I guess you are on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
I am. So
And what's the time difference? What time is he calling you at?
so he calls me when he wakes up.
Okay.
So around like late afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
I think
It
that's
is
really sweet. Okay, so it's called Wei Baba.
It's called Wei Baba. And the premise of it is the first time my dad met Sam, my boyfriend Sam. And it was 3 months into us dating, and my dad flew from China to America. We had dinner at a Chinese restaurant, and the first thing he wants me to translate to Sam. By the way, my dad doesn't speak English, so I'm the translator. So the first thing when we sit down, he wants me to translate to Sam is ask him when he's going to marry you.
Oh my gosh.
First question.
thing.
Also,
Yeah.
3 months in.
3 months in, scary and
Is your dad an intimidating guy?
very.
Okay.
Okay.
My dad is very intimidating.
I don't know why I can only picture your dad like in a suit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
always in a dress shirt. He's in a polo and a dress shirt. My dad is a businessman.
Okay.
And he's, he grew up in communist China. So it's like... He's
so very serious guy.
Yeah, he's very serious. However, when he turns it on, he's the most... my dad is like the most charismatic guy.
Okay.
He's like full of charisma and like like... He's very charming, you know, but also very serious. And growing up, I always just heard my dad screaming at people and yelling at people.
On the phone. Or
No, on the phone.
everywhere?
To people. Yeah, like he's just a very complicated man.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's the added layer for Sam that the language barrier makes.
Yeah.
That would make any dad so intimidating if you cannot speak to them directly.
Especially Sam is
Such a sweetie.
so sweet.
Who's like giggly and smiley and like, yeah, and always trying to make jokes.
Sam's are just like, hey, how's it going, man?
Yeah. And you know, meeting someone's dad for the first time, you want to impress them, but if you don't speak their language, it's really hard. So I was the middleman. I translated. Except for all the things that mattered, I mistranslated most of the conversation.
Oh.
Whoa.
Because
Did you know you were going to do that before you got there? Did you like expect your dad to say some shit that you were like, I'm not going to be?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So wait, your dad says, ask him when he's going to marry you. Did you translate that question to Sam?
Hell no.
What did you say?
I just made up some lie. And that made me seem like to my dad, I was asking him the question, but made it seem like I wasn't to Sam. So, yeah, it was really, was it stressful?
Complicated.
Sort of. Was I lying? Yeah. I felt like I had to. And also, like, not to go so deep into it, I think I have a, specific view on marriage because of my parents who are divorced.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad asking me that question was also just like, who are you to ask me that question when you did all of these things in your marriage that I don't believe was something, that was right. So,
Is it traditional, you think, with your dad that you should always get married?
Yes.
Okay.
I think in a way it's also like passing on the responsibility to another man. Like, you're my daughter, now you go marry another man who can take care of you, so my work feels like it's done. And I did the thing, My dad is very traditional. He doesn't, and also, like, in a way, he doesn't care who I marry.
Okay,
as long
that's
as
what I was
get
going to
married.
ask.
As long
So
as
he
you
doesn't
marry.
care what culture, who you marry, as long as you get married.
Yeah.
At a certain time? Is there a time limit?
Yeah, like as soon as possible. I'm sure he wished I was married by like 21. I don't like.
Got it.
I also just if you watch the film, you can kind of see how dismissive my dad is to Sam, who also is in the film.
So Sam played himself.
Yeah, Sam played himself. in this.
Now, how much of a one-to-one recreation of this conversation is the film?
It's pretty accurate, but there are little improvised lines that were added. It's not, foundationally, yes, very similar. It's a short, whereas the actual dinner lasted an hour and a half, whereas
Sure.
the short is
What
7
was
minutes.
that like? An hour and a half. You were basically like a tennis ball. You were like going back and forth.
Yeah,
Like,
totally. Yeah.
That is so awful to think about because I feel like everyone's parents say or ask embarrassing questions, right? Like, especially meeting a significant other. So to have to say their words yourself to your partner, that's a nightmare.
Well, it sounds like
Yeah,
you didn't.
I actually find
I don't think I would either. I think I would be like,
I think it's better this way.
you do.
Yeah, because I'm in total control of what I want.
See, I would hate that. I would hate
I
to
kind of
be-
love that. So does your dad think he thinks that the dinner went the way he wanted it to go?
I mean, he's still asking me the question, and that
So
was years
so
ago.
wait,
was years ago.
your dad says, and maybe if you remember, because this was years ago, but your dad says, when is he going to marry you? You ask Sam, like, what do you think of the food?
Yeah,
Sam
yeah.
goes, oh, it's great. And then you go back to your dad. Do you tell your dad that he said
Yeah,
yes?
Yeah.
Or that he
Oh
said,
yeah, of course. Like, I'm amazing. He should want to marry me. Like, and you're asking, like, you're going back to the question of how 101, how similar was it? Well, we actually shot at the restaurant they met.
That's crazy.
No way.
Yeah.
So
Shout out Bistro Nas in Temple City.
That's incredible. Wait a second. So you're not in this short film.
I am.
You are.
Yes.
Are you playing
So-
yourself?
Yeah.
So you and Sam are reliving this.
Yes.
Was it weird for Sam to go back to? When did you tell Sam that you lied to him?
I think when he read the script.
Years later?
He's like, "Hey, Olivia, what's the deal here?"
Yeah. And now again, when he listens and watches this podcast.
So he probably walked away that day thinking, "Oh, Olivia's dad is awesome.
Yes.
We get along great."
Yeah.
And then he learns later, like, "Oh, I
He literally said, he's like, dude, your dad is like really nice. Like, and he loves you. And he's just like, he's not, what you said he was going to be like. I'm like, of course.
Oh my god,
I shielded you.
Oh my God.
that's crazy."
Yeah.
So okay, that happened years ago. At what point did you decide, "Oh, I'm going to make a movie out of that memory, that conversation"?
I was itching to make something. And I was really trying to find, what I wanted to make. And I think something was in my brain saying you should just like make something from your experience. And so I was like, all right, what's a funny experience that I had? And that can reflect, who I am as a person. And I think I was like, okay, like I think it's this, story. And I think even though my dad is not physically present in my day-to-day life, he has such a deep impact on me and like who I am. And I just wanted to preserve this experience, this event that happened to me. It's almost like this was like made for me and my dad in a way, and like showcasing our flawed relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's like quite vulnerable. I think in the beginning when I was writing and I was like, this is funny, I'll add jokes in here. But then I'm like realizing, wait, like this is, my dad is getting older, like I'm getting older, and like I'm really glad I made this, because even if no one sees it, it's just like the whole experience of it all it's just worth it.
Oh,
It's like the most fulfilling thing I've ever done.
Yeah,
No, this
that's
sounds
amazing.
this sounds so vulnerable. Like it's one of those projects, and I think this is how you kind of know something's going to be good, is when you watch it and you go, "Oh my god, I can't believe they made this."
Wait, I never said it was good. I just want to put that on the record that I never said that it was good.
But okay.
I actually think it might be really
You're
bad.
too close.
In comparison to, because I haven't seen your film because it's not done yet.
Might be really
But when I see other projects where people make really vulnerable things based on their life and their family, and I go, I can't believe they made this. Like, what's their conversation with their family member going to be? Those are usually the best because it is vulnerable, so it's real and it's raw, and I don't know.
I'm scared.
Explaining the premise of it, I'm excited. Whereas I will be completely honest, I've been in this industry a long time. Usually when people tell me about a short film they're doing and they tell me about the premise, I go, cool.
Like a girl meets a guy, hear me
And
out,
hear me
on a
out.
date, and they're like, "Whoa, I've seen you before," and then they go home together,
And
then
basically, this girl is not like anyone he's
ever met.
Like,
And she turns into a tree. Is
see,
That
now you
actually
made,
sounds
you made
awesome.
it interesting again.
that sounds cool.
that more interesting than what I just made?
No,
Oh, no,
definitely.
I'm doubting myself. Guys, this is scary. Talking about my shit is
That is also, it's got to suck that you're watching it so many times over that by this point you're
Wait,
exhausted
over it.
by it.
So you wrote and directed this and starred in it. So you are so close to this.
I am.
So then did you decide the casting for the short?
Yes,
So you had to cast your own dad.
I did. And it was the most difficult thing. There were moments where I was like, I'm not going to be able to make this. I truly was like, there's no way I'm going to make this because the net is so small. I needed someone in their late 60s, early 70s, Chinese, who can speak Mandarin fluently, who sort of looked like my dad.
Right.
Oh my God.
And has the same demeanor and is going to bring the same energy.
Yes, exactly. And it was so hard because I was watching every single Asian American TV show, movie to find a dad. And it's not like I was using a casting director. I reached out to casting directors and people that I knew who made Asian American short films and be like, do you guys know anyone that fits this description? And I would get people back, and a lot of times like they looked so far off from my dad, so far off from me. People who didn't speak Mandarin, people who only speak Cantonese, people who were too young. It was people who didn't even live in LA, and like I would have to fly them. And someone who lived in Taiwan who I really liked, I was like, and they're like, no, my dad can't get his visa. A lot of things that were like roadblocks. And then I met Jim Lau, and my friend worked with him on, I think it was a short, and then I watched it and I was like, wait, he doesn't really fit the vibe. But then I Zoomed with him and he was so prepared, and he literally transformed into my dad. Like he's an incredible actor. His name is Jim Lau. He's been doing this for like 50 years. He's incredible. And even when he was on set the day of, my mom met him and watched him act. And my mom, who was married to my dad for 17 years, was like, holy shit, this guy is literally a mirror of your dad.
Whoa.
That's gonna be so trippy.
So
Just got
trippy.
chills.
Yeah. My mom was like, is that my ex-husband? Yeah.
So your mom has read the script. She's seen everything
Yeah.
up until this point. What does she think of it all?
I think she's just proud of me that I made it.
Mm-hmm.
And she hasn't really we haven't really discussed,
Yeah.
The content of
content of it. Her voice is in it too.
it. Oh.
Yeah. It's not just like, as you know, like sometimes in divorce situations, at least with me, my mom will call me to ask about how my dad is doing.
Ooh.
Like,
Of course.
vice versa,
Of
it's like
course.
trying to like see what's good, what's going on in their life, how do they look, how's their new wife, like all of those little things. So I added that into
Interesting.
the film.
Why do they always do that? They always call you to be like, what's going on with your dad?
Yeah,
It's never like, how are they?
yeah,
It's like, what's
what's
he doing? What is he doing
I'm like, I
now?
don't know.
Did he give you money to come back to home? Like, what is he doing? And you're like, okay, I am not like the middleman here.
Yeah, but I'm really lucky that I casted someone who is like resembles my dad.
That's
So accurately.
amazing.
Yeah, and then there's like another waiter character, Tim, who is an actual person at the restaurant that works there. He's the manager.
What?
And his name is Tim. And I begged the real Tim to be in it. And the real Tim was like, no, I can't. And I was like, please. And he was like, I really can't. I'm like, I'm really having so much trouble casting this character, please. And he was like, no. So then I met with someone on Zoom who lived in the Bay Area who works in tech and just loves to act. And he was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to fly myself down, put myself up. And
Wow.
it was just like so nice. Like I found a lot of fun, great, kind people who were willing to just like help me out and do favors for me.
That's amazing.
I mean,
so
I get it. 'Cause
yeah.
It's such a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, to get in any project right now.
To
is-
work with Sam Lerner.
that's
hey,
right.
That's the highest honor.
That's
Agreed.
huge.
I really do think like Sam Lerner being like Sam Lerner, he's so funny, and like people are
yeah,
like,
he's
I wanna
great.
do a scene with him.
You know Sam.
Yeah, I believe I've worked with Sam before.
Goldbergs.
He's great.
So casting was like a huge push. You did that. Once you had casting, you had already written the script. You started on casting.
I was simultaneously also like budgeting. That's
Okay.
a huge factor too.
I can't fathom that part of it.
Do you feel like you should budget before you even reach out to people
I
about
budgeted,
this?
yeah.
Yeah. So you budgeted to see how much you could even spend.
Yeah.
Did you crowdfund it all, or was it just budget from your own self?
Partially myself, and I had I'm really lucky that I had friends who were willing to donate money, who were like,
Amazing.
That's kind of what you need.
and I was
to
like,
do
that's
it.
so nice.
There's no money for short films.
There's no money for short films. Luckily, my friend Dorothy Wang, she's amazing. We met. She donated, and then I told my other really good friend Lily about it, and she goes, can I have an opportunity? Is there an opportunity for me to donate money? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, but you guys realize this is all just for vanity. There's
I mean, there's a real investment there because, like, look, if it does well and there's more opportunities that come from it, like to have invested in it
right.
means like that. I don't know.
I don't
like,
know.
this is
Yeah,
smart
I'm
too,
not
right?
really good at selling myself. You know,
It's hard.
it's really
hard.
hard
Really
because
hard.
what if this thing sucks? No, it's good.
But it's your, regardless, it's your story that you're putting together.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as an objective eye, yes, you can look at all the little details. You're like, oh, that's not good. But overall, it's a story that really happened to you, that meant something to you, that you're putting together
Yeah.
for you and your family.
I think the biggest learning thing, I mean, I learned so much, but one of the main ones was budgeting because I can't budget at all, my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And having to like look line by line at things. Luckily, I also had, you know, my friend Hannah, who's also a filmmaker, help me like proof it. She's like, okay, we went through line by line what was needed and like what could be trimmed down. And it was like really scary because you don't want it to be over budget where it's like you can't pay for it. So then line by line, we had to figure out what we were willing to lose.
When you
what
say
we
that,
needed.
you mean getting rid of lines is also lessening the money.
Oh
that
no,
you're
I meant like
putting in.
line by line on like the Excel sheet. Like
Like every little thing.
Yeah. Like I was like, okay, costume. Well, let's take that out. Like and production designer. I was like, I mean the place I don't know, do I really need one? Or can people who have really great taste like Patrick and Angela come and help me out? And they both came.
they did.
And they did.
Yeah.
They did. Angela wrapped at Smosh at like 5:30, rushed over to my house to get all the stuff that she needed to decorate and do everything, and then got up at like 4:30 the next day and like
If people don't know this about Angela, she's incredible at doing that.
Yeah.
She does art. She did it for I Live in Your House.
Mm-hmm.
She did all the art deck, all the design of it. She's unbelievable.
yeah, she's incredible. And Pat was there too. It was like a lot. But yeah, so like insurance, you know,
Because you need to insure your short film.
you got to insure like a
expensive.
lot of things, and you know, because on the last day maybe your production van gets crashed.
Did your production van get crashed?
Yeah, our PA drove it to a wall, like backed it up.
Well, that happens.
Oh,
you know,
no.
And then the person who sold us the insurance happened to be a girl that I used to dance with, and she DM'd me and she was like, hey, like I saw your name, you know, in this like insurance thing. Like I run this insurance company, and let me know if you need any help. I was like, wait. I'm like, you could have helped me cut costs. And she's like, yeah, next time you're making something, just like let me know. I'm like, wait, and I went to school with you? Like this is so crazy. So I was like, I'm so sorry. We crashed a van.
Oh, no.
Like, can you help me out? But anyways, yeah, like a lot of funny things like that. And then like my hard drive, both my hard drives crashing. That was
as it goes.
and that
Always
was like
happens
that
like
was like the
that.
scariest thing. That was the scariest thing. Like a week later, we give it to the editor, and the editor is like, oh my God, I don't know what happened. No, actually, even before that, he plugs it in. He was like, the hard drive crashed. And I was like, oh my God. And I was telling my DP, I was like, don't delete anything. Because we had like a main hard drive, and then we were pulling everything from the main one. But then the secondary one crashed. And I was like, okay, let's just order another hard drive. We order another hard drive. Editor works on it for a few hours. We do edits on it. It crashes again.
No.
And I was like, oh God. And then so I was like trying to find hard drive recovery places and found a really great one. They recovered it, realized that it was a faulty, that manufacturer just makes really shitty hard drives, or like that batch was just bad. I don't know. It's like a trusted company, but some reason these hard drives that we ordered were just all faulty.
Wow.
And then we got another one that worked, and then just like all these things that were always on the verge of like everything collapsing. And you know, and yesterday's situation was something very similar where I was like, oh, when is it gonna be?
This episode of Smosh Mouth is brought to you by ZocDoc. In life, there's a lot of big decisions you got to make, and one of those is booking doctor's appointments, something I was bad at for a long time because it felt like a complicated process, but I downloaded the ZocDoc app, and it made it so much simpler. I was able to find a doctor in my area that suited the needs that I was looking for. I was amazed by it. I finally went to a doctor.
Oh, good for you. I'm so glad you went to a doctor. You needed it. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Smoshmouth. That's ZocDoc.com/Smoshmouth. ZocDoc.com/Smoshmouth. This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. Shayne, are you good with budgeting your money?
For the most part, no. I've been very bad about it for the longest time. Dealing with my finances kind of intimidates me, but I've been better about it thanks to Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that empowers you to save more, spend less, and take control of your financial life, and that is what it's done for me.
Oh, yeah. It's so incredible. You just download the app and it starts to budget everything you're spending on, and it sets goals so that you can start budgeting better and smarter.
It's great. You can set goals for yourself, and you can organize it, and then you might find that you have more money to spend that you didn't realize. You know, when you organize things, you get to see it all in one place, and that's really helpful.
Which I love. I love that it's all in one place because sometimes life is just too chaotic. Rocket Money has over 5 million happy members and has saved its users over $1 billion across all of the app's features. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Get Rocket Money today at rocketmoney.com/Smoshmouth. That's rocketmoney.com/Smoshmouth. rocketmoney.com/Smoshmouth.
Back to the show.
Let's do it.
I feel like just the process of making a movie, I've never heard of one not having multiple catastrophic moments.
Yeah.
It feels like that's part of making a movie.
Right. But then the actual filming of it, yes, we only had a day in this tiny room. It was we shot it in a private room at Bistro Naz. We had
You
to
shot for one day?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had pickups for half a day, but we shot for one day because the thing is the location, they couldn't, like, they're a functioning, busy restaurant.
Yeah, of course. You have
You
to
know,
rent out their location.
I think they have like a Michelin star too. So it's like a really popular restaurant, and they have to like make money. Oh, and this is another crazy thing. So I'm just like saying how hard it is to make a thing, but
No.
Kind of the point.
so no one's ever shot at this restaurant ever.
Okay.
And they really made that clear that they didn't let Vogue come. They're like,
Whoa.
they're like, Vogue reached out. They wanted to shoot here. We said no.
So why did they say yes to you?
Because I wrote them this email, and I felt like I poured everything out there.
I can see why they said yes. I mean, this is a true story that happened at their restaurant. There's kind of a more genuine aspect to it, so...
And I've been going there a lot, you know, like I go there and it's like I know Tim, the manager, and like I don't know, it feels like we are kind of friends, and but then I didn't even know they had like a social media team at this restaurant. So, you know, I met them, and you know, the marketing people were like really intimidating, really intimidating, and they quoted me this rate that was like, there was also
$300,000.
there was like no way I could have afforded that. Like it was, and at first we wanted to do a night shoot because we didn't want like paid like customers to be. It was going to be really loud.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like, let's make this a night shoot, and they were like, impossible. You can't shoot here at night. They only gave us certain dates that we could shoot. So there was just a lot of restrictions, and I was just like, there's no way. Like, first of all, it's so out of my budget, and then the times that they can shoot, we were like, can we shoot for 12 hours? And they're like, what? And you want the entire backside of the restaurant? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we need to make money.
I know.
And you're not paying us. I'm like,
Location is so hard, especially if you want to do it in a working location.
12 hours is like very modest to ask for a shoot.
I know. And it's like, and they're like, well, we have lunch and dinner. And, you know, like, are you going to disrupt our all these people moving around? And then, so that was one of those situations where I was like, there's no way I can pull this off. Like, I have to figure it out. And then we just kept going back and forth. And I was just like, I was like, what if I make content for you guys? I was like, I went on PicMonkey and
What's
made
PicMonkey?
It's like you can make decks and posters and stuff.
Okay.
So I made a deck of like myself and basically like, these are all the things I've done. This is how many followers. This is all the brands I've worked with. And then like I basically had to pitch myself to them and be like, I will make reels, TikToks, stories.
Wow.
I will do whatever.
Oh my God.
I will literally work here. And
So you became their spokesperson.
but this restaurant is so good, and I recommend it to literally anyone visiting LA or lives here, like Bistro Naz, one of my favorite Chinese restaurants in LA.
Wow.
It's incredible. Anyways,
You're still doing it.
I know.
I am.
So you are doing it now.
My contract lasts for the next lifetime.
Okay. So you
Does not
sold your
expire.
soul.
But I'm so happy to, because this place is incredible, and the people, like everyone that works there, they're just so genuinely nice. So
Cool.
I was just really lucky. And so finally going back and forth, I was like, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then they were like, all right. They agreed to like a rate that I was able to afford.
Whoa, that's
So-
amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Or else there was no, and then we didn't do the overnight shoot. We actually just shot, but with people. We had to take a long break in between like lunch service. So 12 hours actually was not 12 hours because we had to
No,
take these
it's
long
20
breaks.
hours.
It was like less, like,
Oh, you had to do it in less time.
yeah. And then 3 days before the shoot, I was like, you know what? Like, I need another camera because there was no way that I could. Also, like there's like the DP that I first was working with, he got a bigger gig, so he had to go work on that, obviously. Then I was like scrambling, trying to find another DP that I could trust and work closely, who understood what I wanted to make. And then I found my friend Lizzie introduced me to this DP that was shooting her movie in the summer, and his name is Stephen Brecken, and he's like now we're such close friends, and like it was such a beautiful, fun, collaborative thing that we did together. Like, I can't see anyone else shooting this besides Stephen.
Whoa.
He's just the best, and I love him so much. And like, because it's like, I'm a first-time filmmaker. I didn't go to film school. I love movies, but I don't know anything about it. And it's really intimidating because I'm like, okay, these are these cameras, these are these lenses, these are, so many things that I truly did not understand. And I'd be like Googling, like, and I'd just be asking questions.
Googling, what do I do?
I'm like, what is this? What does this mean? And like,
Yeah, because there's so many different lenses for so many different shots.
yeah, it's like anamorphic, or like, I'm just like, I don't know.
and lighting in itself is such a complicated thing that you don't really realize until you're making something.
yeah.
So you had to hire. So you did the casting, you did the budget, you did the location, and you also were hiring your crew.
Yeah, and like Steven, I'm like, Steven's repped at a huge like agency. And I'm like, I'm talking to your agent? I'm like, no. But I also had a really great producer, Tyler Mercer, who was the liaison between a lot of these things, because like I never wanted to blur the lines between, budget and the creative process with my DP, because like him and I, like, we want to preserve that relationship. And then all the numbers and like money, because people need to get paid, was dealt with my producer, who was like, amazing throughout this thing. But yeah, there was like a lot of these little things that, we had to figure out. And it was like, talking about money just always stresses me out, because I want to always like pay everyone a really, like, I just,
Right.
because, it's like, I want people to feel happy and like content and,
Totally.
like.
But sometimes when you're doing a short film, people are also there because they know it's a passion project. And there's a lot of things that just, I still think that if you are creatively excited about something, you will work for a little amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Whenever
for
I
free.
did a short film, money was never even really a reason
Right.
to do them. You do them because you're just like,
Yeah.
I need to get out there. I need
Yeah.
to be a part of something.
Yeah.
Or they believe in your story that you're putting together.
Yeah, I'm just like so grateful for literally every single person involved.
So for the past year, like every day, how many hours of every day from your past year is dedicated to this short film, do you think? Like if you had to put an estimate, because I just feel like has this taken over your life? For the
Yeah,
past year?
sort of. I would wake up in the middle of the night, like
Just sweating.
no, like like weeks prior,
Yeah.
months prior to it, and then even afterwards, I would literally wake up and be like, "Oh my God, wait, let's remember that we need to add that in here," and like,
Yeah.
and I would wake up and be like, "Was that okay?" Like I was like, "What?" Like little things would, big things would also wake me up, and even now I wake up in the middle of the night like having really bad self-talk to myself. This is me being so vulnerable. Like, you know, it's like when you've been working on something, even a small thing or big thing, whatever it is, like you're so consumed by it, and then like I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? It's like finding a healthy balance. Yet I'm still trying to find that.
I feel like I feel like that happens when you are in the middle of creating something, whether it is like a short film or a sketch or a wedding or something that you're planning that means something to you, and a lot of people that you care about, that you have a high opinion of, are going to watch it.
Oh, it's so
It
scary.
is so overwhelming, and it constantly wakes you up. And the bad self-talk, it's there because it's your fear trying to protect you.
Yes.
Right? It's trying to protect you. And like, the more you do it, the more you can be like, thank you so much for protecting me. I'm going to move through this now.
Yeah.
Because I have to.
And I also think that like being gentle with criticism, with anything in the creative arts, it's just so helpful. Anyone showing you anything that they've written or made, or you're watching anything, and even if I just feel like you just have to be gentle with the people, you know, who made it, because it's fucking hard.
Well, I think it's illuminating for like this process and hearing about it. Even any piece of art that you see is never really one person.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of circumstances and events that culminate in a thing. So if something isn't quote unquote good, there's a million reasons for why that could have happened. And it may not be like, oh, well, the person who made it didn't know what they were doing. It's like, you have no idea what occurred. There's a bunch of parts of it.
Yeah.
But it does fall on like the people who have their name and their like face
Sure.
that's like
Yeah.
on it, which is so much responsibility. And but yeah,
But no, it's given you a lot of perspective, it sounds.
so much perspective, and truly the most exhilarating. I have more great things to say about it than all. These are just like funny. I like when these things happen, I'm just like I'll tell you guys what happened yesterday. The catastrophic thing that happened yesterday was that I was showing my friend the screener link, and then I clicked on the link, and it was somebody else's short film.
What?
And this is like
Okay.
after submitting to festivals, and
Oh.
I was like, wait, this is not mine. Because a couple days ago, when I clicked it, it was still mine. So between the couple days, something must have glitched. Something must have happened.
Oh
And
my God, we submitted Cars 2.
That's someone's short film.
The short film Cars 2 is
2?
great.
I was like, I literally just, I blacked out. I was like, oh my God, oh my
I
God.
saw you yesterday. You seemed fine. Did it happen before
She wasn't
or
It
after?
happened after.
Oh my gosh.
It happened like a few hours after.
Okay.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
God.
oh my God, oh my God.
What did you do?
Well, I fixed it, and we made sure that it was the right link, and we emailed programmers. We did all of that, and literally they just got back to me that they have the right link.
Thank God.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying, though.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Thank that.
So
is
you're
terrifying.
already submitting it to things?
Yeah,
Yeah. Tell us your plan for like.
Distribution.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be like youtube.smosh.com.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm giving it to you guys. Have it, please.
Stop.
Post it on Wednesday.
Great.
Post it
We'll
on
do a thumbnail for
Wednesday.
that.
Post it on Wednesday, please. I don't know, guys.
Where are you sending it to?
I've honestly, you guys, I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure that out still.
Okay.
Do you have any hopes?
To film.
Do I have any
To
hopes?
Sundance?
No, I
To
think
Cannes?
I don't think this is truly I don't think I'm so in it, and I also don't have any expectations for it. Like truly, I have zero expectations, and I've just sort of done the inner work of thinking that the whole journey was
worth it.
Was just the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And you're also trying to just get it done.
Yeah, and I want to just make things, and this was like the first thing, and I'm excited to make other things.
Yeah.
And
do you plan on making another short film or a feature or?
Yeah.
Wow, that is so amazing when you're like a creative person, when you go through all the stuff that kept you up all night for a year, that you're like, yeah, I want to do it again.
I want to make a really fun music video.
That's
What?
cool.
Yeah, I that seems fun. I don't know. That seems fun.
You want to direct one?
Yeah, I do.
I think that's sick as hell.
Yeah,
dude.
I think that's gonna be fun. And I also this is so weird. There's I keep joking with my DP. I was like, what if we got to shoot a Skittles commercial?
Olivia, I will
Wow.
be completely honest. I think if there's anyone out there who's destined to direct a Skittles commercial, I think it's you.
It's you.
You have the
I agree.
ability. You could make the next I'm thinking of Starburst.
I was gonna say Starburst.
I don't know,
berries and cream.
Yeah,
you would have
Starburst.
made that commercial.
I love candy.
Do you?
I take little bites of it, but I
That's
still
right. I
love
remember
it.
you used to leave like a half-eaten Skittle on the ground.
Yeah, I just
What?
not on the
guys'
ground,
past-
not
your
on
guys'
the
past-
ground.
That's weird.
That's some Olivia lore right there.
Like, are there any fun moments in your guys' lives that you would want to make into a short film? Or do you guys have any ideas of writing something and then making it?
I have so many. I have them all written down. I have so many. But it's just
In my dark, twisted
in my
mind.
dark, twisted journals of my house. I have a lot.
Well, I am here. Use me. I will Literally help you do anything you want. I would drive around. I will go to places.
Olivia will
and-
kill a man.
I've gotten very close. I've written stuff. I've gotten very close to organizing a team, but I don't know. Life just keeps kind of derailing specific things for me. A lot of them are centered around my mom. My mom does crazy shit, and I love her, but she does really try to teach us really life lessons, and they always turn out so chaotic and so funny. And when you tell people this story, they're like, "What?" And I have so many of those different stories, and I guess I just haven't chosen one. And also the thought of kind of organizing my year to focus on it, I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to do that. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, I have a lot of those. Shayne?
So are most of yours based on real life?
Most of mine are based on real life.
Interesting.
And with certain ideas. I've always wanted to, it's funny that you brought up tree in your short film, because I wrote a whole short film about a girl talking to trees. And her connection with the trees, that it's connected to her grandfather, because that's a true thing that happened in my life. And I remember we were going to get it going and start shooting it years ago, and I think I got cold feet because I was like, this is crazy, and because it's very imaginative, it's very young childlike stuff, but it has deeper meanings. So I don't know. You're really inspiring me right now. The thought of really going through all of that right now, I'm like, okay, I'd have to think
You might
about
not go through this. I don't think you're going to go through the hard drives. You're going to go through the van. I don't think you're going to go through those things.
Okay.
You're going to go through other things, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be those things. And
Well,
it's
no.
going to be really exciting.
You're really inspiring me. I really like the idea of a true story and things that you did as a kid and kind of making it into its own thing, whether not all of it can be true. You can make up different parts of it. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting to hear because, I think like all of us creative people, I think of story ideas all the time, but they're almost never based on my real life. I feel like I look back on my personal life, and I feel like my life is too boring to have story ideas from.
Really?
Like my childhood, my personal, like my family life. I'm like, it's just boring.
There's
no story
true.
there.
You've told me stories, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, you drowned. You
Yeah,
died.
your
I don't
mom-
remember that.
Right, but your mom, like,
My life was interesting before I was conscious.
maybe it could be from the POV of your mom.
That would be terrifying. I mean, that's. I guess I could turn that into a comedy. No, I'm just kidding.
Olivia's gonna like work with every single cast member. We're all gonna have a short film in a year.
I don't know anything about it, but I just really appreciated my peers stepping in and being so supportive and like helping me.
Yeah. No, that's always like the most fulfilling thing is working with a team. I did feel that. So the closest I ever felt, and I felt like I didn't do anything with this, but we did the live sitcom earlier this year, and it was like my pitch, and to bring on Sid and Olivia to like kind of make this pitch of mine into a real thing. It was really cool. And every step of the way, like to just see everyone make this thing come to life was really awesome. And I think that's really tough for me as I don't take ownership of things, and I just don't have the confidence, and my perfectionism prevents me from like starting things or believing I'm capable of doing things on my own or even with a team. But going back, I think something that I've thought about for a long time that I think would be really fun to do is I really like horror short films, like when they're done really well,
Yes.
like very subtle ones, not like bleh, like kind of horror, but more like there's that one short film. It's like The Face of God or something. It's a really well done short film, super subtle, and it's just got a really solid ending to it. There's a bunch that I love. There's that one, I forget the name of it, where it's literally like the entire short film is this lady. She's like in this cement, like it's kind of this slanted cement thing near a pit, and it's like 6 minutes of her just like
What?
stuck there, like trying not to fall in. And I'm like, that's kind of incredible that they made this into a story, made this into a gripping tale, and it's so
Nightmare.
subtle. Yeah, it's a horror, but there's just really creative ways of that. And I'm not someone in a day-to-day that loves like horror, but something about it is just been always interesting to me.
I feel like what would be cool is if there was like a pitch session with your closest friends and you were pitching those ideas, because I feel like that's how, in my opinion, shorts get made or like become to
Yeah,
life.
bouncing
When people are like,
ideas
yeah,
off
no, I
each
see
other.
exactly how that's shot, and you're like,
Yeah.
really? I feel like that's how it happens. So
I'm at my most creative when I'm with other people too, or I have my initial ideas, but I do so well bouncing off of
Right.
other people. So I guess it's embracing that a little bit more. But for my personal life, I can't think of anything that I'd be like, that's a short film.
that's okay.
That's also really great.
Yeah.
'Cause, I wish I had other ideas that were not my personal experiences. It's like literally putting your entire life on display.
Yeah, I was
I think
gonna
that's-
say
I think that's
personal stuff. It makes it even more.
It's
challenging.
it's really challenging for me to like be having my life being perceived.
When
yeah.
When do you think your short will be done? Sorry, daunting question.
No, it's okay because someone asked already, but
But I mean, you were saying you weren't sure.
yeah, I think hopefully in the next like month or two,
Okay.
maybe even shorter. I don't know, but I don't want to rush it.
Do you think
Yeah.
because next year you'll probably inevitably be showing it to rooms full of people,
I don't
Maybe.
think so.
or
Okay.
No, I'm gonna burn it.
Oh.
Maybe a Smosh Christmas party. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I definitely think it'll be done like before next year.
When you imagine yourself, you imagine this thing is done. Are you going to be able to sit in a room full of people and watch it?
I'm not sure.
Because I, even thinking of if I were to be doing this, I would have such a hard time.
Unless it's never done. So I
Okay.
never have to
No.
put myself in.
Wait, there is a
Okay.
thing though. There is a thing when you are doing a project, when you are making a project, like when I made my one-woman show, you kind of don't want the making of it to end.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
Because you're in a comfortable place. You're almost in this torturous, comfortable place.
Yes.
Well, it's-
Making it, and you don't want it to end because when that ends, you go,
What's
what's next? What else?
It's also never really done. You're probably going to always.
I mean,
think
it will
there's-
be done if it's.
But I mean, in the process of making it, there's always going to be something you feel you could do.
Yeah, I think it was like also like the day after we wrapped, I was like, meh.
Oh,
I was like, no one's making me sign documents. Like my producer isn't calling me to sign things. And I'm not constantly on the phone with my DP. I'm like, what's
it's
I'm like,
sad.
yeah, I was like,
You're my
meh.
family.
But then I realized I didn't expect the rush of other things that were going to happen.
oh yeah.
Like,
Post is usually the worst part.
Jesus, I'm like, God, this is so hard.
The best part is making it, obviously.
Yeah, making it and then making it again.
And then making it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's so cool because, you could have just not done this. But I think it's cool that you are doing this, that you chose to do this, and it's daunting, but it's a risk, and it's a project, and it's oftentimes the scariest, like most daunting things are the most fulfilling. At the
Yeah, it's definitely changed my perspective on like how I want to, live my life and what types of things I want to do and what I want to put my energy towards and like, this was the best experience ever, and now I'm just like I just want to do more things like that.
It's great.
When you do it again, what is the thing you're going to remember from this experience? When you do it again, you're like, I learned that. I got to make sure that I do that.
Everything, because I'll tell you a really challenging thing that I was always looking at, which was like figuring out the shot list with my DP. But I also, you know what? Time is one of those things I'm like, I really need to get more time, especially when because I was in it, I didn't have time to watch playback because that would just take so much time out of the 12 hour day I had. And I think having enough time to see all the
A longer shoot day.
a longer shoot day.
Not as rushed, not in a
and
restaurant
I
that
mean,
was
I
working.
learned literally so much, and I'm going to continue to learn because there's going to be new things, and I'm going to want to make new things that are going to be different. So it's just like an forever learning thing, I guess. I don't.
Wow.
Okay, so before we end this, for so many of our listeners, I feel like there's definitely a few people who want to make a short film. Now, say they're not in California, say they're, I don't know, in some other state or some other place. What would be your best advice for if they wanted to get this going?
I think having a clear idea of what you want to make, but also being collaborative
Yeah.
and being nice to people.
That's probably the best
That's
advice.
huge.
Yeah.
Don't burn your
Actually,
bridges. Be nice to people.
Being like nice to people. And I guess it's like, it's so funny. I would never think this, but now I'm like, oh, wait, you have to budget things out,
yeah.
you know? Like how much things cost, how much the camera's gonna cost, and all these little things. But I think you'll figure all of that out if you believe in yourself, have a clear vision, and be nice to people.
Yeah.
That's legit.
That's probably the best advice you can give. No, I mean, it's a creative experience. I guess you have to be creative with what you're capable of too. Like on a budget level, like you're going to have to change things up.
Yep.
Yeah, and things cost money.
That's the biggest lesson that we've learned today is that things cost money.
Things are expensive, and being nice to people goes a very, very
Being nice to
long
people
way.
goes a long.
I'm going to start doing that.
Being nice to people.
I think I'm gonna start-
making a
so
budget sheet.
I
glad.
think I'm going to start being nice to people.
I'm so happy.
I know we're all this whole thing was meant for
It was all
Yeah,
just
this
for
is
me.
actually an intervention.
All right. you guys heard it. I'm going to start being nice to people. So get ready to start seeing that in our content and on this podcast.
But Liv, I am so unbelievably proud of you.
Oh, you guys.
Thank you for coming on the pod and sharing all your vulnerable experiences.
Oh, well, thanks for having me share these vulnerable experiences.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Scary
for these
as heck.
vulnerable experiences.
And I'm sure people will get updates as this moves along.
Yes, it will be finished. Oh, you guys, wait. This is actually really important.
Okay.
Okay, if you're listening and you want to be updated on all of this stuff, I have an Instagram
Oh?
for this film
Okay.
Okay.
called Way Baba Film, I think. No, yeah, it is. I'm going to put it on my Instagram too.
We'll link it too in the description.
Yeah.
We can
Okay,
pop it on the
right
screen.
now there's no photo and it looks like a bot, but it's not. And it's mine, and I'm going to be posting updates and fun things, and you guys can see like BTS, little, like all the cool
This is
stuff.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yay. So guys, follow her on Instagram. Follow
Way Baba Film.
Way Baba Film, but we're going to put it in the description. So
Yeah.
follow along. I will be following.
All right. Well, thank you, Olivia.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you, Amanda and Shayne. Thank
You're
you
so
guys.
welcome.
Thank you guys for listening and watching.
Guys, go be nice.
Yeah, be nice and set a budget. All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.